with Grow Your Life, the program that goes beyond houseplants and gardening. Good afternoon, everyone. Very happy to be again on Omega Radio 101.9. And we have also my guest today, Catherine Shapiro, who will be commenting and inputting her own ideas. And we are in Grow Your Life session. And today we will be talking about recycling, compost, and we'll touch up about the sun on our skin when we do these type of things. We will start with easy type of recycling, which I think will be easy for everyone to do at home, such as 4 different types of water for growing flowers. And using the ingredients to do that is basically recycling what you use at your house on a regular basis. We have soya beans. When you soak them in water and they get fermented, they are basically become phosphate fertilizers, so which is something very good for growing flowers. Potato peel, for example, you soak it in water, or even pieces of potato itself. You soak it in water and it gets fermented, and the nitrogen fertilizer and basically promote flower blooming. So you have different ways of doing it. These are the 2. Then we have the 3rd method, using banana peel, which you soak in water and it gets fermented, and the potassium helps prevent yellow leaves and basically promote rapid growth of your plants, of your flowers. Orange peel is something really, I think, is something very good for everyone to use. Orange peel soaked in water is insect repellent. It prevents pests and smell fresh. So this is something that I highly recommend for everyone to be able to do on a regular basis at their home if they want to grow flowers and be successful doing that. Besides that, there is a possibility of composting and preparing soil so that you can use for your plants, which is very rich. And we'll start with the easy method, which is for people that live in an apartment or they live in a small house.
That would be me, for sure.
That will be Catherine, yeah. So you don't have a big ground to start doing that. And I would recommend getting basically large empty nursery pot. Between 3 to 5 gallon will be sufficient. And what you do is a very simple process. You use dry leaves, you use soil, you use fruits and vegetables, scraps. You can use eggshells, but it's not really necessary because eggshells takes long time to break.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, it can take years to break the eggshells.
Right.
So it's not necessary. But what is very important is not to use meat, not to use cheese, and not to use bread. Okay? Then keep on repeating, doing the same thing. Use dry leaves, soil, fruit and vegetables, scraps.
So you just keep putting it in the bucket, right?
Yes, 2 layers. It depends, if you have 3 to 5 gallon, I think you can do probably 3 layers of the dry leaves, the soil, fruits and vegetables left over. And then one more layer of the same thing. And then you top it up with water
Uh-huh.
and you leave it for 30 days as it is.
With the lid on, yes.
No lid, as it is,
Okay.
uncovered
All right.
for 30 days. And after 30 days, it will be ready for you to use to fertilize your plants in your garden. And it is just amazing how simple this method is.
Well, I'm kind of sensitive to mosquitoes, so standing water is kind of a thing for me. So if
Yes, that's a good point, Catherine. When you use the water on top of everything, make sure that you do not make it soggy, that it is just enough to wet that mixture
okay.
so that it's not becoming bring
Attractive to your
flies.
friends, the mosquito.
Yes, exactly. So just a
Absolutely.
little bit is sufficient, and you leave it for 30 days, and it will take care of itself. So dry leaves, soil, fruits and vegetables, and again, the same layer.
Gotcha.
And it will get fermented, and the bacteria will help to break it down.
That is so helpful because for people that don't have a lot of space, you always thought that you couldn't compost, and I'm glad to hear that you can.
You can definitely. You will put it outside, in your balcony or on the back side of your house, but it is possible. And leaving it open to the air will help the bacteria to ensure that it is not the bacteria that is the bad bacteria, that it is the good bacteria.
Absolutely.
Because once it becomes bad bacteria, everything becomes very soggy and mushy, and so you don't want to get that.
So you know that you're doing really well when it's kind of springy and it's
Yes.
not getting anything on top of it or anything.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Exactly.
That is exciting for
yeah.
me, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that is the easy way in a small area. Now, to do composting, basically, you need green material and you need brown material. When you do it and you have big garden and you want to do big quantities, and so green material can be kitchen scraps like apples, leftovers of green vegetables, banana peel, ground coffee as well. You can use that.
Cool.
Yeah, and the
Plenty of that
best,
around.
and the best is grass clipping. And as I mentioned, you can use eggshells, but it's not necessary. The brown material that you use in composting, it includes regular newspaper material, regular cardboard
Gotcha.
with no tape on it, no paint on it, and no shiny material, no glossy material on it. And sawdust. Sawdust is excellent when you do composting. And dry leaves in the fall, you can find
Right.
plenty of those, I'm sure.
Plenty of those falling off the trees right out there in your front yard, I'm
Exactly.
sure. Absolutely.
And then don't compost high glossy newspaper, nothing that's not plant-based, like cheese, meat, as it takes ages to break down, and it can attract unwanted animals, rodent, etc.
Absolutely.
The best compost is directly on the ground. You apply one layer of material on top of the other, and that's the fast way of doing composting in your garden. And you do it on the one corner of your garden if you have big grounds. So you apply one layer of material of the and then you mix it with the shovel. 50%, I would say, you have to use the green material.
Gotcha.
And which is the kitchen scraps like apples, leftover of green vegetables, banana peel, ground coffee. And then 50%, I would recommend to use the brown material, which is the regular newspapers, cardboards with no tape, sawdust, which is and leaves, dried leaves, of course. Um, it is important to mix it every single day with the shovel. So it is time consuming. It's time consuming if one wants to do composting in a fast way, but 30 days later they will have very rich soil.
And you've created that rich soil without having to go through Home Depot or any
That's
of
right.
the other things.
Yeah, you save
And-
money
You
and you reuse what you have at home. Absolutely.
Absolutely, and you don't get runoff or anything like that from pesticides or fertilizer that
That's
ends
right.
up where it's not supposed to be.
That's right. So it is very important, as I said, to mix it every single day because we don't want situation of no air and then the anaerobic bacteria, which is the bad bacteria, takes over. It will break down everything, but it will take ages. So, and it also will make things very sluggy and mucky. So it's important to mix it every single day.
Absolutely.
Okay. The mixture, you will notice, will start getting hot, which is good. When you mix it, you'll see that it looks like steam comes out, which is excellent. It is all the good nitrogen, but breaking down from the bacteria.
I hear you.
And so you can keep on doing the same thing, adding more kitchen scraps and the green and the brown material all the time.
Until the top of your bucket is full
Exactly.
and you stop, and it does its own thing over those 30 days, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So we are so glad, just so that I can say this, to have Ofra here with Grow Your Life. It's a brand new show on Omega Radio, and she's here every Friday at 1:30.
Yep. We also can touch up on the slow compost, which is will take about a year, and that is a long process, and it will be. You never turn, you never cover it, and you just collect goodness of brown and green leaves and brown cardboard, green grass, clipping, and then you pack the layer on top of the other. Don't worry about the ratio, percentage-wise, nothing. And you add about half a gallon of any liquid fertilizer to supercharge everything, and then more dry leaves and pack it all, and you can close the box.
And there are some really acceptable alternatives to, organic fertilizers
That's right.
that you can get also.
Yes, absolutely. We do also at Vernon Life, we do sell fertilizers, and for further information, you can go to verdonlife.com, and it is spelled VERD like deer, ANTLYFE.com, and you can check. We have a natural fertilizer that we sell over there. And so when you have at home different leftovers, food from the kitchen, you just throw it on top of the pile, whether it is eggshells, whether it is leftover food, meat, fish, salads, vegetables, fruits, the peel of the fruits, anything you eat. Remember, the minute you use fish, meat, etc., it will take a long time to break, but then this compost will be ready a year later. You do not mix it. And then for that type of compost, you need a big garden, you keep it on the side, and you just let it keep on cooking, and you add all the time more material. And every now and then you keep on adding brown cardboards and dried leaves, and just keep on piling, but never turn the mixture of the pile. Now the worms and microorganisms will help to break this down. So it doesn't sound so nice, but basically after a few months you will be able to remove the soil from underneath and use it in your garden. And it will be excellent, rich soil for your trees, for your
Fabulous.
grass, for your different plants that you're growing. The only thing that you might find intact after a few months will be the eggshells.
Well,
That is
I
actually
tell
quite
you what,
amazing.
we are so glad that you are here to answer these questions for me, especially because I am a very frustrated South Florida gardener in a very small space.
Yes.
And that is so helpful to all our listeners out there. If you do have questions, what you want to make sure and do for further information is go straight to verdantlife.com, and they will be able to answer all your questions for you. They have wonderful workshops, one that I attended several weeks ago, which was fabulous. I have a terrarium on tap that I am going to put pictures on my webpage at www.cmscreationsart.com, because that's a wonderful creative way to use your talent as a designer for people.
And we do have people that bring their terrarium, large ones, and we do create it for them. And we use all the stones inside. We use all the air plants and different carnivorous plants and different plants that are suitable for terrarium environment. And there is one very important thing, since I'm a esthetician by profession, that I would like to remind you all that when you are out and about and working and doing your composting and working in your garden, always remember to put your sunblock.
Oh,
Because-
yes, ma'am, absolutely.
And then if you don't do that, you pay for it 20 years later because of wrinkles and sunspots and sun damage. So remember those basic things to take care of your skin. And if you sweat, you have to reapply. I use a special sport sunblock from Banana Boat, which stays on, and it's good for sports people. So I recommend it, and it's very cooling when you apply it on. And so just last thing, again, your time, energy, and peace are the most important things in your life. So you need to navigate them through the right channels. And one of them is growing and caring for plants. You're tuned in to Omega Radio with your host, Ofra Gato, with Grow Your Life, the program that goes beyond houseplants and gardening.
I want to thank you for tuning in to Grow Your Life with CEO Ofra Gaither with Verdant Life. You can catch Grow Your Life here on Omega Radio Fridays at 1:30 p.m. Keep it locked in right here. You don't want to miss a thing. Keep it tuned in. You can catch our proud new sponsor, Ofra Gaither, right here on the Station of the Stars with Grow Your Life. Keep it tuned in. Don't go anywhere. We got more coming your way.